Hey everyone, and welcome to a first ever edition of RockFit Q&A. This is Ken Diaz, founder and personal trainer at RockFit. As you know, we're a personal training studio based out of McLean, Virginia, and this is our awesome space. So let's get started without further ado. The first question of the week comes from Tracy, and Tracy asks, Ken, why is it that watermelon is a high sugar fruit? I went on a diet years ago and watermelon was completely permitted and allowed as part of the program. Thanks, Tracy, for your question. So the answer to that question is watermelon is considered a high sugar fruit because of the ratio of water and fiber versus sugar that it has. It has a lot more natural sugar in it than water and fiber. So when we're talking about low sugar fruits such as berries, apples, even pears to a certain extent, versus something like pineapple, banana, watermelon, mangoes, kiwis, etc. Berries are a great example of a fruit that has a low amount of sugar compared to the amount of water and fiber that it has. So it has a lot more nutrition and water in it versus sugar. And you need to understand the concept that as a person who is overweight or over fat, because it's possible to be of a normal weight but have a high amount of body fat, you want to focus on foods that give you a big bang for your buck, that are nutritionally dense. And when you're eating a high sugar fruit, you're really indulging in something that has more sugar than anything else. And don't get me wrong, pretty much all fruits are healthy foods, but is it a fat loss food? And that's a question that you need to ask yourself about pretty much everything that you eat most days of the week. If you're eating something because it's a healthy food, is it a fat loss food? Okay? I'm sure I'll get questions about what that means. Let's move on to the next question. Next question comes from Diane, and Diane asks, Dear Ken, is papaya a low sugar fruit? Thank you, Diane. So papaya is not considered a low sugar fruit because once again, it seems to have more sugar in it than it has water, fiber, vitamins, minerals. However, just to clear things up so that nobody thinks I'm demonizing fruit, if you're somebody who is very overweight or has a lot of body fat that needs to be burned in order to achieve a higher level, higher quality of health, then you want to focus on eating low sugar fruits, but it's not going to kill you if you have a high sugar fruit every once in a while, ever so often. But the high sugar fruit really needs to be treated like a tree. And I know that's hard for some of us to accept because we want to look at fruits as being very healthy. But again, if you are somebody who has a long way to go with your fitness progress, who needs to lose a lot of weight, then fruits that are higher in sugar, they need to be considered like a sweet or a treat or a very high sugar, starchy carbohydrate. Are they better than having cookies or milk chocolate, something like that? Absolutely. And if you need to focus on eating some high sugar fruits instead of having cookies or chocolate because, well, it's something sweet that you can put in your mouth and it's a better alternative than splurging on those sweets, then absolutely go for the high sugar fruit every once in a while. But you got to keep yourself honest. And as a RockFit member, if you're a client or a member, I'm being honest with you, the high sugar fruit could put a dampening effect or stall your fitness results and your progress over time if you're having too many of them. If you don't have that much weight to lose or that much body fat that you're focusing on burning, then a higher sugar fruit may be something that you can have more regularly. But always keep yourselves honest. If you don't see results over time, there's always a reason why, and the first thing you need to look at is going to be your nutrition. Bill asks, I want six-pack abs. What is the best exercise for six-pack abs? Thank you, Bill, for that question. So the answer is actually a running joke that we have going on in the fitness industry when people ask, what can I do to build six-pack abs? Especially as guys, we want big chests and six-pack abs, right? But who doesn't want abs? We all do, right? Six-pack abs. The best exercise for six-pack abs is a little move that I like to call the table push-away. Table push-aways are really the best exercise for six-pack abs. What that means is that the best thing you can do in order to develop your abs is to really focus on your nutrition above everything else. Second to that actually is on stress levels, especially here in the Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia area. It's just go, 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 stress, 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 gray hair everywhere. You really got to focus on your nutrition and your stress in order to develop your abs. And then on top of that, as part of my spin on this joke, you really ought to focus on what you can live with when it comes to practicality and convenience. How easy is it for you to maintain the things that you adopt into your lifestyle as part of your fitness program? Because if there's anything that just seems overwhelmingly challenging, then chances are you're not going to be able to do it for a very long period of time, which means that your results are going to be short-lived. So always focus on lifelong practical things that you can turn into habits to develop your body as much as possible, but while also focusing on living a happy lifestyle that you can maintain. Does that make sense? Move right along to the next question. Lisa asks, Ken, I'm going out of town, as you know, for about a week. What kinds of exercises would you recommend that I do on the road? Thank you, Lisa. So there's videos that I'm sending out to you that should show you some exercises that you can do with kettlebell, dumbbells. There's also a video that I've put on our blog for everyone to see that shows you a sequence of bodyweight exercises that you can do. So focus on high intensity interval circuits or HIIT circuits that are very efficient, that require you to use your whole body. Make sure that you're getting into your B's and H's, which stand for breathing, hot, heavy, sweaty. Basically, make sure you're sweating, feeling really hot and out of breath, pushing yourself to the limit. That's the main focus of a high intensity interval training circuit, so that you can get the best results possible in a very short period of time. The second part to my answer is to consider doing something called a burst. And a burst is really just any resistance exercise that uses your body for about 60 seconds. So for example, let's say you're driving along the highway, there's a rest stop where you can pull over to the side, maybe there's like vending machines and all that. Make sure you eat nuts and not the milk chocolate. You want to go over to the side of the road, somewhere where it's clear, away from traffic, it's safe, and you're going to do 60 seconds of push-ups. So you go down onto the street or onto the grass and perform 60 seconds, as many push-ups as you can. If you're really going for it, then you ought to feel burning. It's one of the B's and H's. You should feel hot. You should feel heavy. Okay? And your breathing should also be heavy. Okay? So burning, breathing, hot, and heavy. Those are your B's and H's. And that's the goal of a burst. Just do 60 seconds. If you do that periodically throughout any given day, it doesn't have to just be push-ups. It can be push-ups one time, wait a couple of hours, drive further down the road, get out of your car, do squat jumps for another minute. That is akin to throwing a pebble into a pond and having a ripple effect that you continuously throw pebbles at. And those ripples are going to have ramifications on your health and fitness. Imagine if we did that every day. Isn't that something? Imagine if you did 60 seconds of push-ups every day. Would you be sore? Yes, at least at first. But would you be able to do push-ups better? Heck yes, absolutely, without question. So whatever it is that you need to work on, if it's your legs, you can do lunges, you can do squats, you can do squat jumps, you can do burpees. Bursts are simply a 60-second maximum effort of a single exercise. And that is an awesome and very efficient way to maintain your level of fitness. So Lisa, I hope that answers your question. That's all we have time for at today's edition of RockFit Q&A. If you have questions, ask me in person, whether it's at training or a coaching session, or email them to us at info@rock-fit.com. Love to see your comments on Facebook. I'm inviting you to go to the Facebook page and post comments and questions on there as well. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you real soon right here at RockFit.